What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel, and today we are checking out the Hobbymate's Comet Vx220. It is the stretched X frame 5-inch FPV racer. Now this is available in the PNP version or the bind and fly with the FR Sky XM Plus receiver, which I have here today. Also available is the FR Sky RXSR receiver, as well as the do-it-yourself kit. The price ranges from $179 for the do-it-yourself kit all the way up to $219 for the FR Sky RXSR receiver version. Now this one here with the XM Plus receiver came in at $210. Now this quadcopter is available in two different types of motors, one of which is the one that I have here. It is the Hobbymate 2305 2500 kV motors, the low profile design with the open bottom and the hollow shaft. It is made by RC in Power. Now this is also available with this motor here. This is the same branded motors, RC in Power motors, comes in gray color here, and this one is also branded Hobbymate. It is the 2305 1800 kV motors, open bottom bell designed and low profile, and it's also got the hollow shaft as well. So you can choose either the 1800 kV motors or the 2500 kV motors. Now for a time, there is a promotion going on right now, so if you purchase 4 of these motors by themselves, they will give you this Comet Vx220 frame for free. Yeah, either the 2500 kV motors or the 1800 kV motors. So there's a promotion going on at the moment, so jump on it because this frame is an awesome frame. It's got detachable arms, 5mm arms, 2mm plates all around, and it's just a fantastic frame. I think the frame by itself costs about $49. I think that's what it says on the web page, so check it out. All right, so let's take a closer look at the frame here. It is a stretched X frame configuration here, and like I said, the arms measures in at 5mm in thickness, and we do have 2mm sandwich plates going on, and the top plate is also 2mm. A very solid build. I am unable to bend the quadcopter up and down or from side to side. There's a couple of screws holding on to the arm itself, so there's 2 screws you have to take off to release the arms, and it has the 3 motor hole configuration to hold on to the motors, and we also have some countersunk screws to help protect the battery so you don't indent the battery. I did put a foam pad to protect the battery, but this quadcopter did not come with a anti-slip mat for the battery itself. And the props that I got going on here are the Gemfan 5049 tri-bladed props, and also this quadcopter does not come with props, so you will have to supply your own props for this quadcopter. So the electronics on this quadcopter is able to support batteries from 3S to 6S input. So the ESCs on this quadcopter is the Airbot Typhoon version 2.3 BL 32 4-in-1 35 amp D-Shot 1200 ESCs with ESC telemetry and overheat protection. And the flight controller right above it is the Airbot Omnibus F4V6 flight controller with 5 UARTs, and it has the built-in Betaflight OSD, and it was pre-flashed with Betaflight 3.3.0 firmware. And the VTX right above it is by iFlight, and it is the Force VT 5804 V2 VTX. It is the 5.8 gigahertz 48 channel 0, 25, 100, 200, 400 and 600 milliwatt switchable VTX, and there is a single button to change the channels, the frequency, and the power output, or you can change the channels with your transmitter via the IRC tramp protocol in the OSD menu. And it has the MMCX connector and it is sporting the Foxeer Lollipop 2 antenna. It is a 2.5 dBi 5.8 gigahertz antenna. The camera that came with this quadcopter is the Foxeer Aero Micro Pro 600 TV line FPV camera with a 125-degree field of view, and it is sporting the 2.1 millimeter lens. Okay, so here is the box that the quadcopter came in, a generic brown box, but nevertheless it is nicely padded on the inside here, and we are also given a bunch of documentation, first of which is all about the Omnibus F4 V6 flight controller, and it goes on to show you what they modified on it, what the features are, and what the resources are. But in the back we are also given the diagram of the pin map, and everything is color coded front and back of the flight controller, so that is just awesome that they give you such a documentation. And another documentation all about the Typhoon 32 V2 4-in-1 ESCs, and on the bottom of that documentation we are also given the diagram of the pin map as well, so just awesome. And yet we have another one all about the iFlight Force V2 VTX, and this one shows you how to go about changing the channels, the frequency, and the power output utilizing that single button. But this VTX also supports IRC tramp protocol, so we are able to change all that through the OSD menu with our transmitter. And here are the wiring diagrams so you can connect your FPV camera, and here is yet another diagram to connect that one single wire so that you are going to be able to use the IRC tramp protocol. So that is just awesome documentations here. And also we also get this FrSky XM Plus documentation that always comes along with the receiver. And we are also given the box that the Foxeer Aero FPV camera came with, so we got all the documentation and the necessary screws, and also the little push button joystick pad so you can go into the OSD menu, and the instructions to go about how to do that. And we got a couple of extra wiring harnesses that came along with the quadcopter as well. And last but not least, we got another VTX antenna with the MMCX connector. This is just a dipole whip antenna. So that is everything that came inside of the box. All right, so the quadcopter is weighing in at 308 grams, ready to fly. So the recommended prop for this quadcopter is the Dell Prop 5045 or the Gemfan 5152s. But I have here already attached to the quadcopter are the Gemfan Flash 5049. So let's go outside and test out how this quadcopter does with the Gemfan 5049s. All right, we are just about ready to go with the Hobbymate 5-inch racer. I have it bound to my brand new Jumper T12 remote control. This is the one that comes with the Hall sensor gimbals. I'll do a full review on it on an upcoming video, but today I'm just going to fly it with my new Hobbymate 5-inch quad. So let's go ahead and turn this baby on. All right, running OpenTX, just like the one that comes without the Hall sensor gimbals. And I have the model set up to Hobby 5. Power this baby up. And I got the Tattoo R-Line 1300 milliamp battery. I believe it's 95C. Let's see if it stands up correctly. There we go. All right, so let's go for our first line of sight testing. Arming the motors. I did a hover test after everything was configured correctly in the backyard. And I did a little baby punch out, and it does have lots of power. Yeah, it's very nice. And the gimbals on this T12 Hall sensor TX, very nice. Very smooth. And I'm running that 5049 Gemfan tri-bladeds. So far so good. Let's do a little punch out and check out the power. Ready? It's got tons of power. And I'm running Betaflight defaults. Seems to be a little loose. Oh, but this is a nice one. Alright, one more punch out. Holy cow. This thing's got tons of power. Very smooth and nice sounding motors, isn't it? Oh my god. Okay, let's bring it in. Don't want to go too far. Let's see if I can do a couple of flips in acro line of sight. There we go. We are in acro. All right, very smooth. Not bad, not bad. And I don't hear that much prop wash either. Oh, this thing is nice. This thing is nice. Nice. All right, let's bring it in and try it with some FPV goggles and see how it performs FPV. Nice. All right, here we go with our first FPV flight with the Comet Vx220 by Hobbymate. Let's go and check it out. Arming and all right, very smooth. These gimbals on this T12 is so smooth, you don't know where you are. All right, so far it is a smooth flying quadcopter. We give it some speed. Ooh, bunch of birds. There we go. Let's fly with the birds. Awesome. In a V formation, those guys. Oh, there's more. All right. Well, the RSSI is very nice, even though I was on the opposite side of the car. And I'm flying it with the 1300 milliamp Tat2 95C. Okay, default PIDs, Betaflight, and it is doing pretty decent, but I can feel that it is a little bit loose. Yeah, slightly needs a tuning here. Oops, over rotate. Ooh, very hard to hold a stick in the middle. There you go. Right, needs a little bit of tuning. But this thing is performing very nice. There's a little flicker on the OSD. So maybe the power source for the VTX and the camera needs to be changed. And prop wash is almost zero. Yeah, prop wash is almost zero here. Let me induce some prop wash. Just a tiny bit. Okay, 2.5 minutes into the flight. 14.8. So far so good. Everything seems to be very smooth. Just need to kind of retune the PIDs. It's a little bit loose. And I need to get used to these sticks on this new T12 jumper remote with the Hall sensor gimbals. Very smooth, very accurate, but they are very, very smooth and light, so you really need to hold on to them. Okay, 14.7 volts remaining still, and I'm just kind of cruising. So I think these 5049 props are doing fantastic with this quadcopter. I'm just going to test it out with these props. Remember, the suggested props are the Dell prop 5145 or 5045 and the Gemfan 5152s. The 5152s probably for like racing, and the 5045s are more of a cruiser like this one here. All right, so we hit the 4-minute mark and it is down to 14.6. So let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing. So very, very nice little flyer. First impressions, very smooth. Nice. Okay, so that is our first FPV flight with the Comet Vx220 by Hobbymate. All right, we are back. So let's go ahead and arm the motors and check it out. It feels a little bit more locked in. What I am flying it with is the CNHL 1300 milliamp 100C battery, and also this VTX has a built-in microphone, so I've increased the volume on my headplate goggles to level 10 so I can hear the motors a little bit. So very nice. So I plan to go a little bit further away. There you go. A little more locked in. Some good power on this thing. Alright, let's go and check out the opposite side of the park here. Since we have the microphone, I can still hear the motors. Very nice. Nice. And I got the VTX set on 600 milliwatts. So we got no problem with FPV video here. So nice, nice. Awesome. Oh, this thing handles very nicely. And I got no problem with video this far away. Ooh, a little bounce back still yet. So need to be tuned a little bit more. Yeah, she's performing very nicely. We are at 3 minutes And since I've been kind of punching it around, we are down to 14.8 volts. And I think if I cruise from here on out, I should squeeze out another 4 minutes of flight time. So let's just cruise around. Very nice quadcopter, guys. Very smooth. Gotta get used to this microphone noise. And there's a lot of static noise as well. So you're not just listening to the motors, you're also listening to a lot of static. Yeah, very nice. It needs to be locked in a little bit more. So tuning in progress. And you can just cruise around. And we are still at 14.6. 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Maybe we'll be able to squeeze out 5 minutes with the CNHL battery. Yep, I believe we will be able to do that. 4 minutes and 39. Okay, now I can hear the motors from the quadcopter. Alright, 5 minutes it is. Awesome. We still got a little bit more? 14.4. Alright, I think that's just about it. Woohoo! Alright, let's go ahead and bring it in. Very nice. Alright, so there you go, our second flight with the Comet Vx220 by Hobbymate. Alright, just got done checking out the Hobbymate 5-inch racer, the stretched X version of it, and it did just fantastic. Just an awesome quadcopter. The build quality is awesome, and this frame is just super smooth, and these motors are just so powerful. And don't forget these RC in power motors, the 2500 kV motors, which I have on here. If you buy 4 of these, you will get this frame at no extra charge. There's a promotion going on right now, so check it out. These guys got tons of power. And don't forget the 1800 kV motors. If you buy 4 of those, you will also get this frame as well. And if you have some kind of stack ready to go, if you crashed your old racer and you are looking for a new frame, you might as well just go and get these motors too. It's such powerful motors. And if you want to get the whole thing, yeah, this whole thing is available as well, all ready to go, bind and fly, comes with the receiver and everything. And the electronics are able to handle 6S, and if you choose the 1800 kV motors, you are going to be able to fly it with a 6S battery as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on my next video of this quadcopter. I'm going to switch out these 2500 kV motors to the 1800 kV motors and fly it around with some 5S and 6S batteries and see how that works out. For today, I only flew it with 4S batteries, line of sight, as well as the beginning FPV flight with the default Betaflight PIDs. I use these batteries here, the R-Line 95C 1300 Tattoo. And on my second FPV flight with adjusted PIDs, I flew it with the 1300 milliamp CNHL batteries, the 100C batteries. Gave me about 5 minutes of flight time on this one, and what was it, 4 minutes of flight time on our first FPV flight with this one. So very nice flight time with this quadcopter as well. So very nice quadcopter, and I flew it utilizing the brand new Jumper T12 with the Hall sensor gimbals. I will do a full review on it on an upcoming video on this transmitter. Just a nice little transmitter, and you saw the distance. Our SSI didn't go down below 80%, maybe slightly below 80%, and I flew it way over there in the trees and the woods. So very nice, very nice transmitter as well. So there you have it, guys, my test flight and review of the Hobbymate 5-inch racer, the bind and fly version. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next time.
Creative imagination began to build a new art form.